Hello and welcome to Viral History. Today we're in sunny Chelmsford with Graham and Ali of Rexfactor fame, and we're going to chat to them all about Rexfactor.
One king, two presenters, 5 factors.
So guys, can you tell us what Rexfactor is?
So what we do in Rexfactor is that we review all the kings and queens, initially of England, now of Scotland, and we consider which one of them was the best.
Right.
So we look at their life, their reign, and then we review them on a number of different factors. So we've got battliness, scandal, subjectivity, would you want to be a subject, and then how long they ruled for, how many legitimate surviving children they had, and then we decide whether or not they've got that certain something that we call the Rex factor.
Okay. And so how did it start? Where did the idea come from?
We were both working together and used to meet up at lunch, and conversation often just turned to history, and we'd argue about which king was best. And so we thought there's got to be a way to sort this out. Came up with these factors or ways of rating them. The idea being that you could effectively play one against the other and just see objectively which one was best. And we thought this is great. This really is good. It was a good structure. So it was quite the early days of podcasting. And we were both, that's how it started actually. We were chatting about which podcast we
It's our favourite podcast.
Yeah. And then decided we'd have a crack at it, because it was quite early days of podcasting.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what we were doing, but carried on.
So when you're not doing Rexfactor, what do you both do job-wise?
So I work still in local government, which is where we originally met, so absolutely nothing to do with history. So although I'm the one on the podcast that sort of gives out the information and is the expert, Ali's the one that actually got a job.
Yeah, so
as a history person.
at the British Museum, which was brilliant. I don't work there anymore, but it was fabulous.
Yeah.
And I run a coffee shop at a train station, so quality historian and all those things. Yeah.
Do you hand out little sort of Rexfactor?
You should do. You should have the cards.
Well, I've started our coffee Twitter account. I've snuck in a few Rexfactor posts there.
So you're currently on your second series, right? So that's Kings and Queens of Scotland.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're at the end of that now. So we're currently so we've actually reviewed all of the monarchs now. So we're now doing playoffs to decide which of the monarchs that we gave the Rex Factor is the overall Rex Factor champion.
Okay.
So we're going to find out who comes out on top for all the Scots.
And have either of you got any inklings as to who might win it? Got any bets you can place?
It was quite tricky that there was 13 Rex Factor winners, so they didn't all it didn't divide into categories very easily.
Right.
So we gave the overall winner on points, Robert the Bruce, a buy-in to the final. So it's likely that he's going to do jolly well. But
he's got a good chance, Robert the Bruce.
Yeah.
One
of the cooler ones.
The thing is, you don't know how the listeners are going to react. So Ali and I get to vote in the group stages, but the public get to vote as well. So we don't know someone like Mary Queen of Scots that didn't actually score very well, but she's got such an amazing life story, and so many people are fascinated by her. We don't know whether she might actually just storm through because so many people are fascinated by her. Maybe she could challenge Mr. Bruce.
Yeah.
And how do the playoffs work exactly in terms of how do you pitch them off against each other?
So we have a podcast episode for each. So we've got 3 groups of 4 in the first round, and we have a podcast episode for each group. So we go through their life and reign and each of the factors, but comparing them against each other rather than just individual episodes.
Right, yeah.
And then at the end, we've got an electoral college system. So I'm one electoral college, Ali is the second electoral college, and then the rest of the world is the third electoral college.
Very
diplomatic. I think we're being quite inclusive there by giving everybody that rest of the world voice. So we rank them from first to fourth, and then the rest of the world get to vote their favourite, and then we combine all of those to see who gets the most points.
And have you had any thoughts as to what Series 3 might be? I don't know if it's a bit early.
Well, we might just have thought about that.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Is it an exclusive?
This is an exclusive part of history. We are planning to do the Queen and Prince Consorts of England.
Right, okay.
So we're going back, in a way, to what we did in the first series, but from a different perspective. So rather than all the kings, it will mainly be queens this time.
There could be some quite interesting characters that come out of that.
Should be really good.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, like so many times there's all these incredibly powerful women that are behind the monarch. They're the face. But actually, that they're pulling a lot of the strings. So it's going to be fascinating to have a proper look at them.
That would be really cool. Oh, very exciting. And so next you've got an animated show coming out.
Yeah,
Soon?
we have the rest of the world. They were so generous and backed our Kickstarter to get enough money up so we get an animation up and running. And this is, you can see us in animated form.
Amazing. Good likeness. Yeah.
So we're doing
same jumper.
Exactly the same. And this is complete coincidence. I say that a lot though, so I'm beginning to think that it might be subconscious.
Coincidence, stroke, you just got one jumper.
I have got a number of these, you know. So we're doing our first animated episode is on Richard III, and that's going well. We're working with Tin Mouse Animation, who are pulling it all together. It looks great.
Yeah, so we've already recorded the audio for that, so they've been putting together the actual animation. But yeah, it was really good to do Richard again, because when we did the original podcast episode, we actually said that nobody knows where he's buried.
Yeah, I remember that, and then
so there's actually
revealed.
new stuff to talk about. So yeah, it's been really fun seeing how they've kind of done little visual gags and things on the stage with some of the things we're saying that then become realised. So yeah, it's really fun. We're really looking forward to seeing what it looks like.
Yeah, and why Richard III is the first? Any particular reason?
He was just in the news a lot, wasn't he? We're sort of jumping on the back of that, really. And I think loads of people have so strong opinions of him, one way or the other, that it's got a lot of interest. So I think, and basically Henry VIII is too difficult to tackle in 30 minutes because he's the other sort of headline monarch that you'd need to do. Yeah.
So is the plan that there's just going to be one animated show, or is it potentially going to be a series?
Hopefully, yeah. So we've got a pilot. The Kickstarter has backed a pilot, which we had as Richard III. But depending how well it goes, hopefully, a series, and all of them will get the treatment.